What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News. This is a live chat concerning Terence Bud Crawford, Mr. Unavoidable, Volume 2. You know, I'll let the chat load, let YouTube do their bloody job, because there is nobody that I am talking to as of right now. There is one on the chat. Hello, one. Where you're from, number one. I'll let it load so we can begin the show. I hope everybody's good. I hope everybody's power is working, because I'm in the state of Texas and nothing is working right now. Very selected households have power and water at the same time. Taco K, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Taco K in the building, peoples. Let's hit that like button as we come in. Let's show some love. Let's show some love. But Mr. Unavoidable, that's what he is. Mr. Unavoidable. You know, Terence Crawford is that guy. Sean He, counterpunch to thee. Bars. You know. And it's unfortunate though, because you have how's this? It's unfortunate because you have guys that are at the welterweight division, good fights that could be made. You know, you had, Danny Garcia. He came from 140. Before he retired, what was his name? Lamont Peterson. He came from 140. Of course, Terence Crawford himself came from 140. Mike from Boston. What's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Mark David Muego. Good morning. How's it going in Texas? It's recovering. That's how it's going. Best Life. What's up? I'm driving, but I can listen. Hey, don't look at me. Listen to thee. Listen to my voice. It'll take you wherever you need to go. But if your eyes follow me, you might not make it. Counterpunch. But look, man, Terence Crawford is in a bad situation. He's in a bad situation. He's in there. He's docked. He's officially docked. He's docked. He's went all around the island of the PBC, and nobody really wants to fuck with him. They all want to fight each other. They claim they get something like some kind of kickbacks under the table money from Al Heyman and shit like that. I don't know how true that is. I just know that they claim to want to fight the best, but they don't want to fight the best. And Terence Crawford, it's sad though, because I think if he knew that it was that much bullshit, like due to politics, I don't think he would have ever went to 147. I think he would have stayed at 140 and just waited for Josh Taylor or fought Regis Prograis, or you know what I mean. Waited for everyone that thought they were Billy Badass to come from 135 to 140 and just dominated 140, because 147, it's so much bullshit, and then it's blatant. Okay, you can blatantly see where the bullshit's coming from. It ain't like, oh well, did he have problems with fighting Kell Brook or Amir Khan? Amir Khan got $7 million fucking dollars, but that's Amir Khan though. He has a country, and on top of another country in another country. He has a lot of support worldwide in different countries. Over here, you have bullshit you got like a Don King like cat that controls these guys. He doesn't have to break their legs and shit like Don King used to do, or allegedly used to do. He could just, do whatever. I mean, he has their mind. And because he has their mind, that's all you need. Those guys like Sean Porter. Now he turns down $2 million. They offered Danny Garcia the money at one point. That was a couple years ago, if you guys can remember. They offered him, I think, $3 million to fight Terence Crawford. He turned that shit down. Keith Thurman. How much did Keith Thurman want? I forget how much he wanted. Brandon, what's up, brother? Happy Saturday. Yeah, I'm at fucking work. Go figure. Khalif Russell, PBC is a cult. Yeah, they are a cult. Because nobody like these guys you don't hear anything from those guys. You don't hear anything from them. You get you get zero cooperation from them. That's sad. Why would you have to have that type of restraint? The only person that seems to be rowdy enough is like Gary Russell Jr., and that motherfucker fights once a year. The moment when Gervonta Tank Davis starts sending all those subliminal messages on Twitter and social media and all that, he fought that one time. So they know, they stop you from fighting. They're like, you know what? We used to give you good money to fight nobodies. Now you're going to fucking fight nobody. Yeah, $10 million. I thought that's what it was, Khalif. Appreciate you. Good counterpunch, brother. When is Crawford contract up with ESPN? I don't know. And, you know, I think it is a cult. I think it's a cult. I think it's some bullshit. Because you look at even Errol Spence. Errol Spence never really got the fights he wanted, if you really think about it. I think Errol Spence used to be hungry selectively until he got what I guess he just kind of bought into the whole cult thing. Who did Keith Thurman wanted to fight more than anybody else? Who did he want to fight? I mean, before the Pacquiao bullshit, he didn't want Pacquiao. He didn't even fuck with Pacquiao when Pacquiao was top rank or not with PBC. Who did he want to fight? You guys tell me, who did Errol Spence want to fight more than anybody? Do you guys know? Do you guys have a clue? Who did he want to fight? It wasn't that long ago. No, Spence wanted Thurman, Mark. Not Thurman wanted Spence. Thurman could have gave a shit about a Spence fight. Spence wanted Thurman, and look how long it took him to get those fights that he eventually got. 2 fucking years. He fought, okay, when did he fight Carol Brook? Halim Boston, counterpunch to you, brother. Thurman wanted Floyd exactly. One time. One time wanted his own people. I get what one time wanted. I'm going to talk about one time in a minute. But Errol Spence, who did he fight in 2017? Who did he fight in 2017 to get the IBF strap? Soulier, counterpunch. Mr. Park, Brook, exactly. Counterpunch to you, Mr. Park. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. He beat Brook. But do you guys understand how long that shit was ago? Brook? He fought Brook in 17. That's going on 4 years ago. Country Boy 706. Think about what I'm saying. 4 years ago. When did he finally fight Porter? 2019? 20? Did he fight him in 19? It took him 2 fucking years to get a Porter fight. It took him 3 fucking years to get a Danny Garcia fight. And he never got the Thurman fight. He never got it. So eventually this is what happened with Errol Spence. Errol Spence ended up Halim Boston, counterpunch. So what Errol Spence he ended up buying into the bullshit. Like, fuck it. Y'all just gonna pay me my money. Nobody really want to fight. I think he gave up on challenges. You remember when Errol Spence used to say, oh, I stopped Golovkin? He used to say that shit a long time ago. I stopped Golovkin. Well, fine. Fuck. Why don't you do what Kell Brook did? The guy that you broke his other side of his face. Go up there and fight that guy. Y'all both took turns breaking this guy's face. Go up there and fight each other. That would be a fucking classic fight. Especially then. So he was talking that shit in 17 and 18. So, yeah, you could have went and fought Triple G. Shit, if he'll fight Kell Brook, I'm pretty sure he'll fight you. You know. I mean, those type of things. But as far as Terence Crawford, his contract is up. Okay, what guarantee do we have that they won't do Terence Crawford like they did Errol Spence? They won't give him the runaround because the guys that are on the hierarchy get to pick and choose or cherry pick and choose who they want to fight. I mean, how do we know that? I mean, you think Terence Crawford has time to dick around on a maybe? He ain't got time for that shit. He was saying that he'll beat Canelo too. Yeah, he was saying that. Yeah, he was saying that. Hate this name calling. Can't back their gobs. Kell Brook 9 months after getting orbital a bone broken by Triple G at 160 the fight before. Well, you know, he had no business going up there. And then, you know, shame on Triple G, because Triple G at the time when Canelo knocked Amir Khan out cold, okay? When he knocked Amir Khan out cold, this is what happened. Triple G start talking shit at Canelo. Nah, he's not your fight. He's not in your weight class. Nah. He wasn't, nah. But then he does the same shit. Kell Brook goes up from 147 to 160 to fight you. In fact, that's worse. Because at least Amir Khan was at 147. So he went from 147 to 155. Fucking Kell Brook was the welterweight champion on the IBF side and went all the way from 147 to 160. So that's 13 pounds north versus what? 47 to 55, 8. Right? So, you know, he's just as bad. He's just as hypocritical. Professional channel. Kurt, I have something to show you that I think you would be really interested in. It's to do with Crawford and Spence's careers. I'll send it to you on Instagram or tag you in it on a photo. Yeah, do both. Tag me and send it to me. Because the weird thing about this phone here, my personal phone that I use, not like other devices at home, I don't really get Instagram. So a lot of guys, if you guys send me something from Instagram, I don't get it right away unless I go to Instagram. It's weird. So don't think I'm ignoring you guys. I just don't get it. But no, I mean, whereas Terence Crawford, you know, and you know, you hear the narratives from other places, and I hear people say, you know, man, he needs to leave Top Rank. I mean, that's true in a sense, but then that's not going to guarantee him a fight when a fighter just don't want to fight him, or fighters that just don't want to fight Terence Crawford. They don't want to end up that way. They don't. Look, Sean Porter don't want to end up knocked out. He's had a good career, and he's had his career, like his, you know, everyone has their shit. Everyone has their the things that stand out for those guys. Like, you know, some people are known for never getting knocked out. If they've been beaten before, they have to have something that sticks out. Okay, they have to have something that outlines who they are. Okay, Sean Porter's never been stopped. Sean Porter has never been stopped. Sean Porter's been dropped, but he's never been stopped. And everybody that he's fought, it's either been a Marcy D counterpunch to you. It's always been like a tough, grueling fight. It's always been an exciting fight, and you're always kind of like, I think that Sean Porter should have decisioned Keith Thurman. Right? I think Errol Spence beat Sean Porter because of the knockdown, but it was very close. And I think Dennis Ugas beat Sean Porter, and they didn't even rule the knockdown. So, and needless to say, that was Jack Reese that waved on, like, said it was a slip, like, yo, you're fucking tripping. The same way that Dennis Ugas hit Sean Porter is the same way that Tyson Fury hit Deontay Wilder. Same fucking place. Same place. Same way. They fell damn near the same way. The Wilder versus Joshua 50-50 narrative, the LDBC pushed for years and went out of the window when it came to Errol and Crawford. Well, That is true. And that's the double standard. Now, they pushed that Wilder shit so much, so hard, to the point where it was like, okay, you want him to take 60-40, or you want, or more, but then yet Terence Crawford's the WBO. It's two different reasons. Okay, let me jump on that. Let me counterpunch that real quick. Terence Crawford was not at welterweight his whole fucking career. Errol Spence has been at welterweight his whole career. He's never been anywhere. He's never ventured anywhere. He's never did a Roy Jones, a Manny Pacquiao, a Floyd Mayweather, Bernard Hopkins. He's never been like those guys. He's been like a Gennady Golovkin or Marvin Hagler. He's been one of those guys. He's always been at one weight class. He's talked shit about other fighters and going up north, but he's never went anywhere. That's the truth about Errol Spence. He has never went anywhere. Hit the like button. So, you can't call it. He's the best. He's one of the best welterweights, but he's only fought welterweights. Oh, I'm sorry. He has fought smaller fucking fighters. He fought Mikey Garcia, and we know he ain't no welterweight. He just blew himself up. You know what I mean? To be a one. He fought him, though. Right? He fought him. So that really don't look good for Errol Spence. Yeah, I come on all comers. I stop Golovkin and Canelo, but you fight fucking Mikey? Come on, man. You got to make this shit make sense. Make this shit make sense. You have been at 147 your entire career as of now. Up to now. He ain't been nowhere else. Fuck, go to 154, get a belt there. Go to 160, snap one of them belts. Fight Jamal. Since all you motherfuckers don't want to fight nobody, fight Jamal. He's a PBC fighter. Fight him. Fight that guy. And see where you get. If you can beat him, then you're like, hey, I had to beat, Because, I mean, they ain't trained together no more. Ronnie Shields trains Jamal Charlo. Derek James, he trains Jermell Charlo and Errol Spence. So there's no conflict there. I think Jermell might like that shit. Go whoop big brother ass. Go whoop big bro ass. Go whoop his ass. Go fight Jamal. You talking about fighting Canelo Golovkin? Canelo's trying to wipe out a division 6 pounds past the place that you claim you want to go. Okay, Golovkin, I don't even think Golovkin will fight Errol Spence. You know what I mean? I think Errol Spence would fight Golovkin before Golovkin would fight Errol Spence, because Golovkin's done some bullshit lately. I'll get to him later. But Errol Spence needs to do something too, like Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford was 135. He kicked ass. He dethroned Yordenis. Yordenis Gamboa. Gamboa is a fighter that was undefeated for the longest until Terence Crawford came around. Victor Postol was a hell of a fighter too, an undefeated fighter. That he took that. Terence Crawford has took so many O's from guys. Right? And Errol Spence hasn't done any of that shit. He took O's from people. Not from known people. People act like they forget this. But people act like they forget that Terence Crawford ain't a fucking welterweight. Terence Crawford was not a welterweight. He was not. He was 135. He kicked ass down there. Okay? He kicked every ass there. And then the people that, look, Yordenis Gamboa is still there. He's just fucking old as hell. Okay? That's nobody's fault. Now, all those young guys are getting a piece of his ass because he should have retired or whatever. I don't know if he made some bad investments. He's broke. I heard some domestic abuse shit back in the day with him, when his significant others and all that shit down in Miami and all that. But whatever, he's still fighting. And then he fought fucking Tankhead. He fought Tankhead's ass at like with a broken fucking foot or whatever. Achilles tendon, foot, ankle, whatever. And then, he fought him, and then he fights Devin Haney. Those guys are taking turns doing that type of bullshit down there. Well, Terence Crawford beat that guy that were these guys now. Yordenis Gamboa were the Ryan Garcia, the Teofimo Lopez's, the Devin Haney's of that time. That's what Yordenis Gamboa was. That's exactly what he was. He was that guy that was kicking ass, the little Tyson, that 50 Cent that was promoting him. Remember? 50 Cent, I got my boy, Yordenis Gamboa. You know what I'm saying? He was the guy that had him. He thought he was going to go far, you know, because he was undefeated for a very long time until it comes an unknown Terence Crawford, you know, to figure him out. And it took a while to figure Yota Gamboa out. He switched to southpaw, but he stopped that dude. He took his ass out of the game. Okay, and I was like, wow, this guy's going to be something. Then he fucking goes, he beats up Ricky Barnes down there in the UK, over there in the UK. Beats the shit out of him. He devastated him, right? Then he goes to 140. Then gets the Ring magazine at 135. Then goes to 140. Fucking kicks every ass up there that could be kicked. Danny Garcia said, fuck you, I'm out. He went to 147. That's what happened. Okay, because it was like, okay, shit. Here comes Terence Crawford, the guy that beat me in the fucking amateurs. Let me go. Let me go away from that fight. You know, let me cherry pick up there. You know, now Danny Garcia got quick. He got tested quick because they threw him in there with Keith Thurman quickly. You know, after he beat Samuel Vargas, you know, then Keith Thurman, he had to fight that guy. Keith Thurman went there, you know, back when Keith Thurman was calling out people. You know, when he still had that fire. I don't know how much fire Keith Thurman has these days, but he had that fire then. You better not duck me, son. Not son, son. You know what I'm saying? Lynn Stanley, what's up? Live streaming the night fight. I will if I'm off, because I don't know how long we're going to film. You know, it's like hurry up and wait, and it's like, yo, we don't know. I'm glad you made it home, best life, and you live your best life. You hear me? Hola, lady. Lady mujer. Hola, chulo. Hola, chula. ¿Qué tal? Easy Band. Sup, Kurt. Terence Crawford is popular enough to go independent now. TC Promotions, Elm Street. You damn right. Easy Bands. Counterpunch to you. That's what he should do. He shouldn't go with... Don't let him sign... Like, PBC, look, there's no guarantee. Let's sign one fight at a time. So if he knows, like, if he doesn't get the fights that he wants, fuck him. Fuck him. You know, because Errol Spence did not get the fights that he wanted. He never got the fights he really wanted. If you really think about it, he didn't get the Pacquiao fight. He didn't get the Keith Thurman fight. Now, Keith Thurman got the Pacquiao fight. You know, with Keith Thurman, you know, see, Al Heyman knew the difference between those guys. Now let me talk about Keith Thurman for a second. Okay. Keith Thurman was a fighter that was nipping the heels of Floyd Mayweather before he got out the game. In a fair world, in a perfect world, Floyd should have fought Keith Thurman. If Floyd was a Roy Jones, Floyd would have fought Keith Thurman. You see what I'm saying? Fuck sparring Errol Spence. Yeah, he's a young prospect. So fucking what? Fight the champ. Fight the WBA regular champ, WBA super champ. Fight that guy because he's entitled. He's entitled to this. Give him that. And Floyd brushed that shit up. Oh, he's not a big enough attraction. He's not marketable enough. People don't know who the fuck he is. You know, I thought it was Bone Thugs. DeBarge. You know, I know the DeBarge. I thought he was one of the nephews or something. Right? You know. So it is what it is. And it pissed off Keith Thurman. And he threw that monkey like Sule A said. Counterpunching you again. Let's hit that like button. That Errol Spence, he put that shit in Errol Spence. Hey, you can get him. Errol Spence, I think you could beat Keith Thurman. He ain't no better than you. He just been over here a little bit longer, and I think you could go farther. And I think if he needs to be anywhere, he can fight you. That's all he did. And because Floyd didn't want to fight him. Floyd didn't want to fight anybody like that. You see what he did to Pacquiao. I mean, that's an older Pacquiao, mind you. You know, and then that's like Floyd. He went the weak way out. You know, you can't be respected for that type of shit. Oh, he can fight who he wants. Yeah, I know he can fight who he wants. That's not the fucking point now, is it? It ain't the point of fighting who you want. It's the point of fighting the people that everybody wants you to see fight because that's the guy, the toughest guy at the time. That's it. It ain't the fact. Yeah, I know half these guys fight whoever the fuck they want. I know they have a choice in the matter. That's not the point, especially when you have millions of dollars. Because when you have millions of dollars, that's not the point, is it? I make millions of dollars. Who gives a fuck? Are you giving us the fights that we want to see? Who the fuck gives a shit about Berto? Berto was good 10 years ago. Okay? Shit, he was like, Berto had 4 fucking losses by that time. Why couldn't you fight an undefeated guy? You didn't want to fight Amir Khan, but you fought fucking Maidana because Maidana beat your little brother. And you wanted to show up your little brother. Spence saw Bud's work with Kell Brook and said, hell to the no. Well, Errol Spence, I don't, here's the problem with Errol Spence. And a lot of those guys over there. They don't get the fights they want and their spirit gets crippled and they get bitter. I think that's what it comes down to. I think those guys wanted certain fights. When they didn't get those certain fights, was big enough, but Floyd still ducked him. Yeah, he was big enough. He did a poll. He did a poll on Twitter. But I'm going to get to that in a second. Those guys, like Errol Spence, Keith Thurman, all those guys did the same shit. Al Heyman gave them good money, but their aspirations and inspirations and the things that they wanted to do in their career, their goals weren't fulfilled, okay? But they got paid. They got bribed off with money that they really didn't deserve, but the things they really wanted to do, they never been able to achieve. Why? Because they never had the opportunity. Al Heyman did not allow those fights to happen. He did not want fucking Floyd. He did not allow Keith Thurman for the Floyd fight. Floyd did not want to fight Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman probably would have been that dude that pulled a Hector Camacho versus a Sugar Ray Leonard. You know what I mean? Beat the piss out of Floyd. Then what do you really have? You see what I'm saying? Like, and if Floyd was good enough like that, you test yourself, you know, and he didn't do that. And you have to look at the idea of being confident enough in your ability. If Floyd was so different than a Sugar Ray or an Oscar De La Hoya or guys that are past their prime that are fighting younger guys and can still beat them, if he's different than those guys, he should have showed us, and he didn't. That's the difference. Those guys like Manny, like Floyd Mayweather and Sugar Ray Leonard and all those guys, Roberto Duran, all those guys, they had fought somebody that they know damn well in their prime they would have beat, but they got beat because they were past their prime. If Floyd was so fucking great, he would have showed us how good he really was. Not just sit back and talk shit and act like I'm the king. Put the crown on my shawty dome, and I'm gonna get paid and I'm gonna go home. Bars. No, that's my problem with Floyd. Floyd did great things in his career because before that money bullshit, before the made up ass persona of the bad guy, because that's all he did to make money, to make people hate him, he was actually a good fucking fighter, a great fighter. And then at the time, he didn't get respect. But guess what? Because he didn't get respect, he got, like all these other guys, bitter. You see what I'm saying? Floyd got bitter, didn't fight the Barreras, the Moraleses, the Princess Imameds. Therefore, he was bitter. He got bitter. Then he started turning into some other fucking guy. Money, right? Then he turned into money. Now, if you notice, he's putting fucking hair back in his head. Now he looks like young Floyd. Old Floyd looks like young Floyd. You know, because he wants to live that lifestyle back when he had hair and, you know, he was actually fighting people and shit and kicking the shit out of them and beating them up. You know, pretty boy. Keith Thurman wanted Floyd. Couldn't get Floyd. Fuck Errol Spence. Right? Why would I want to fight Errol Spence? Errol Spence. I can't get Keith Thurman. Fuck it. He gonna duck me again. Fuck it. Fight a couple fighters. You know, get me a belt. Fight a couple fighters. That's it. I didn't get that. Now I'm bitter. Do you see it trickles down? Tank Davis is gonna be the same way. He's not gonna get. See, I think Tank Davis wanted some of these fights that he couldn't get. They wouldn't allow him to fight these guys. They had plans for him. And he's going to get just like all those other guys. He's going to get mentally drug into the same stagnant ass mentality of fighting nobodies. That's all it's going to be. That's all it is. Those guys are all the same. Look, from Floyd to fucking Keith Thurman to Errol Spence, right? to Tank Davis. All those guys are going to do the same shit. And the only people that suffer are you, me, and the other fighters that wanted to fight them to show that they're the best in the division. But they're a part of a fucking cult over there with Al Heyman and them. And Al Heyman won't let them do shit. No, you're not fighting him right now. Fight this other guy over there. I don't want to fight this other fucking guy. Nobody wants to see that shit. I don't care what anybody else wants to see. I want you to fight that guy. Less risk, good money. Why not? So then they start thinking the same fucking way. You start, look, when Al Heyman starts telling them, good fight, good money, less risk. Blooded smoke in their face and shit. Right? Why not? Then they start thinking that shit. You fight nobody's, good money, no risk. Why not? No reward, but who gives a fuck? I'm getting good money. Then they can walk around the club and bring duffel bags of money and act like fucking Floyd. Think about it. The Charlos, AB, all those guys, they did the same shit Floyd did. Walk around with fucking duffel bags of money. I can't make this shit up. Yeah, I mean, but who can he fight though? I mean, it's like you don't have nobody over there. Probably Josh Taylor would be a good fight. You know, I mean, shit. Terence needs fighters. And it's sad he went up there with all them fucking brainwashed dickheads. And none of them want to fight nobody. They might have wanted to fight somebody once upon a time. PED, what's up, brother? Counter punch to you. Lost faith in Spence stepping up. I think Pacquiao will, and I think the winner of Taylor Ramirez will move up and fight Bud. That's pretty much it. And understand this, guys. Terence Crawford is a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer right now. The things that he's already accomplished, and he's still undefeated to this day, he's a Hall of Famer. He really doesn't need Errol Spence. And the whole idea is the fact that he wants to fight these guys. It shows that he's not complacent, because he's not brainwashed, because he's not with PBC. Do you think you want Bud talking like Errol Spence? Do you guys want Bud Crawford talking like Errol Spence? I wouldn't want that. You know, I wouldn't want Bud talking like Errol Spence. I'm going to beat your ass, but then I don't want to fight you. No, sorry. I don't know, because I don't know anything about the fighter that is fighting AB, so I don't know enough about him. I know AB has to prove himself. I know he lost a lot of weight. I just did a video about AB. Stay tuned. But yeah, I'm gonna call the fights as soon as I get off. Halim, they are full of it. Bud understands what makes fighters legends. He does. He already knows. He's an Hall of Famer. He doesn't need none of that shit. Bob Arum is already overpaying him, so he's got too much money. So you hear fucking Terence Crawford complain about money? Kurt, I sent you something on Instagram and tagged you in it. Did you receive it? No, I've been here, professional channel, but I'll check it out though. But see, yeah, Spence didn't get the Pacquiao fight. He didn't get the Keith Thurman fight. Keith Thurman and Spence was the fight that people wanted to see, supposedly. And everybody blasted Keith Thurman, but people didn't understand Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman was bitter. You know what I mean? He's like, why should I get this motherfucker that's like, I got 2 years of experience on. I've fought the fights that he's fought. I've been where he was. Why should I give him a shot? That's the type of mindset you get when you get bitter. And then when you get bitter and you're still getting paid, therefore you're complacent. That's all that is. That's all that really goes down. So meanwhile, Terence Crawford sitting around like, what the fuck? And you heard Terence Crawford lately. He's pretty much like, you know what? I'm not asking for the Errol Spence fight. Errol Spence ain't gonna fight Terence Crawford. Did not tell you guys that. I told you that fight will not happen. Not that I don't want it to happen. It's not the narrative, and I'm not fucking speaking narratives. I'm just telling you the truth. That fight is not going to happen because Errol Spence is not being forced to make it happen. No one is forcing Errol Spence to make it happen. Why would they do that? That's not a good business move from Al Heyman to take him over there to possibly get beat by a guy that is the best pound for pound fighter in the world. There's a reason he's best pound for pound. He figures people out. And he does it aggressively. Fighting a big guy like look, Sean Porter fought Errol Spence. It was a good fight. He fought him. He fought him hard. He fought fire with fire. And Errol Spence knows. And Errol Spence respects Terence Crawford. He knows. He respects him. He knows him. And he knows what his capabilities are. And he knows he knows with caution when it comes to talking. That's why he wants that money. That's why he talks. Well, we want 60-40 or more. We want 60-40, probably 70-30 or whatever. I'm the A side. He starts talking that shit because when in doubt, pull the A side card. When in doubt, pull the A side card. Pull that, hey, this is my side of the street. Who made that shit up? Errol Spence did. I mean, he's the first person that said it, but I don't think he created it. That side of the street shit, that shit came from Al Heyman. That's some Al Heyman shit. They from the other side of the street. That's the problem with Terence Crawford, and you fuck around and give him all the opportunities. The motherfucker might take it. I know you can beat him. I know you can beat him. Right. Yeah, Porter don't want that. Porter is the last guy. And see, it's sad for Porter. Porter ain't got shit. That's what makes it so blatant. It would be different if Porter had something that Terence really wanted. And then a lot of people looked and shitted on Terence because Terence was like, yo, I want to fight the champions. Give me the champions. Pacquiao, give me Spence. Pacquiao, Spence. I'm the other champion. I'm WBO. Give me the WBA, which is Pacquiao, or give me the WBC or the IBF, which is Spence. Give me those guys. That's what he wanted. Everybody, you talking Porter? This is your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, Terence Crawford continues to duck Sean Porter as Sean Porter calls him out for a fight, okay? That being said, Terence Crawford doesn't want to fight the best fights, and he knows that Sean Porter could possibly upset Terence Crawford. So Terence Crawford is trying to duck him like everyone thinks that Errol Spence is ducking Terence Crawford. That shit. So that was the narrative. I see you, King. That's why the U.S. doesn't embrace American boxers. The U.S. loved Iron Mike. They loved Iron Mike because Iron Mike at least fought these motherfuckers. See, and you see Iron Mike now. Mike Tyson pumps these guys. Those guys came on his show and he had them all kind of unbrainwashed for a while. Did you guys notice that? Did you catch that shit? Mike Tyson had these guys brainwashed, like unbrainwashed. He took that Al Heyman umbilical cord shit. No, fight this fucking guy. You know you can fight him. I know you got it in your tank. Fight this motherfucker. I snatched the fucking Al Heyman shit on one. What is this shit? It stinks. Fuck that shit, man. You can fight these guys. You know, Ryan Garcia, that motherfucker came on his thing. He can whoop you. He said you needed a ladder to hit him. Bitch said you needed a ladder to hit him. You can do that shit. You can do it, man. Fuck this dude up, you know. Then the Teofimo come on there. Teofimo, you can fucking fight these guys. You gonna fight these guys? Let's see this shit happen. I don't give a fuck about none of this bullshit about some ESPN and all this shit. You can fight these guys to make this shit happen. You know what I'm saying? So look, but that's what you need. That's what you need. You need these guys to go on Mike's show. Bring Errol Spence's fucking droopy-eyed ass on there. Let's see what he say. I fight. I stop all of them. We'll fight this motherfucker. If you imagine Errol Spence on this show, you imagine Errol Spence on fucking Mike, hot boxing with Mike. I'm Jamaican. I smoke a little bit. I can't smoke right now, Mike. Well, motherfucker, well, I ain't trying to tell you to smoke. I'm trying to tell you to smoke these motherfuckers. Smoke these niggas, man. You can fucking fight. I seen you fight. You fucking drop. You hit fucking Sean Paul and John Paul. You fucking, for a second, you paralyzed this motherfucker. You fucking paralyzed him. Won't you fight Terence Crawford, motherfucker? Because I know Terence Crawford won't fight you. I know you guys need to come together and fight these motherfuckers, man. You need to fight that fuck Al Heyman, man. Fuck all them motherfuckers. Because I know he's telling you. Who's telling you you can't fight these motherfuckers, man, you need to fight them. You need to fight them. That's your shit. You fight them. Come on my ranch. We'll fight them on my ranch. We'll go fight these motherfuckers, man. We'll fight them. You know what I'm saying? We'll set that shit up. Man, we don't got to worry about no shit like that, man. I'll give you $3 million, give you $3 million. Y'all motherfuckers fighting and you win and take off. Fuck it. You know what I mean? So, look, he needs to go on Mike. He needs to get that fucking, he needs to come off out of that mentality. You hang around Mike long enough, I don't know, you smell it, you probably inhale some of that secondhand smoke or something, and just, you know what, I'm gonna fight that motherfucker. I'm gonna fight him. I'm gonna fight him now, Mike. I appreciate you. I will fight him. Fuck that, sign the contract. Fuck, make up a contract right now. Sign that shit like Don King. Don King just signed a fucking signature today. I just been feeling the rest later. Don't worry about all the other bullshit. You come on here and sign that motherfucker. Matter of fact, I'm gonna FaceTime Terence Crawford right now. I'm gonna FaceTime this nigga. Tell this motherfucker, man. Tell this motherfucker to come see you. Terence Crawford coming there. I just tell him, look, I've been wanting to fight him forever. I just been wanting to fight. You know, Errol Spence, those guys, they say to get a belt first. They don't want to get a belt, you know, and I get a belt, then they say go over there. They tell me to go over there, and then I get a belt, you know, and now nobody want to fight. Fuck all that bullshit. Let's cut that shit down the middle. Well, you know, Nikki Blue Eye, Tyson Fury's been on there, you know, and then Tyson, well, as far as we know, Tyson is fighting the guy that we want to see him fight, Anthony Joshua, you know. But if Tyson Fury had a show, if he had a show of like guys, you know, because it's kind of weird now though. You imagine him bringing like someone like Errol Spence on his show. Tyson Fury, I think you cheated my big brother. Cheat him how? I beat the shit out of him. I beat the shit house piss out of him. That's what I did. I am the Gypsy King. I need nothing to beat him. He needed ultra egos. I needed no ultra egos. Who do you think Pacquiao has a better chance of beating, Spence or Crawford? Ooh, I don't know. That's a very good question. Triple X, I don't know. I still think you cheated my big brother. How the fuck did I cheat him? Yes, I hit him with dull blunt objects. They were my fucking fists. I punched him all day. The big Dawsa, he bled like a stuffed Irish pig. I licked it. His blood was a little salty. I know he had fear in his veins when I start hitting him with these blunt objects. He looked like a scared hound dog. The last thing I remember about Deontay Wilder, I kissed him, but before I was pounding him, he was in the corner. Balled up like a little sissy. His legs were twitching. Shivering. I was giving him a walloping. I told him I was going to beat him. I told him. Deontay Wilder cannot fight on the back foot. I knew this. I knew that from our first encounter. Listening to Ben Davison. He's a good friend, but I think he's chicken shit. Freddie Roach told me to take it to him. Now I went up to Kronk's gym with Javon Sugar Hill. And he showed me how to punch properly and keep him on his back foot. I don't care what you say. You still cheated my big brother. Still cheated Deontay. You need to give him a third fight. Third fight for what? What am I giving him a third fight for? He said I cheated him. He called me a gypsy. All our gypsies cheats. Anybody cheated, he cheated himself. He should have took the money with Anthony Joshua and he thought so. Now I'm going to take it all. I'm going to beat Anthony Joshua too, the big shit house bodybuilder, and I'm taking it all. Then I'm going to retire. I'm going to laugh all the way to the bank. I'm going to hang out with the rest of me leprechauns, and we're going to spend the money and drink ale and Guinness. I don't care what you said. I don't care what you said. You still cheated my big brother. Oh, get a grip. Let's see. Thurman and his ponytail. Best life. I don't know. You wonder, did he donate his shit? I could taste the fear in his blood on his neck. It was salty. That's a sign of a weak spirit. I know, I'm a gypsy. I was born to fight. I'm a fighting man. Wilder is such a mug. Only Wilder would take 120 million on the table for a Fury fight. I told you that I was going to give you the opportunity. I didn't have to. Well, why didn't you? Why did you there, bud? That motherfucker ran from a hard place and ran into a rock. He ran into a rock. Motherfucker ran from a hard place and ran into a rock. Oh, man. That's some hilarious shit. That's some hilarious shit right there. You ran from $120 million. You ran for $120 million from a hard place and ran into a rock. That shit, look. That shit's hilarious. That shit's hilarious. Now you imagine Bob trying to explain that, sitting back. I can imagine Bob sitting back laughing about that shit. Fucking Wilder. Wilder's out of his fucking mind. He was fucking crazy before the rematch with Fury. He fucking turned down all that money with John Skipper. That been Tyson Fury would have said, we don't need anything else. We got 2 fights to his whole contract. The bastard turned down $100 million. The fucking fight Gypsy King. Tyson Fury beat the shit out of him. Now he's looking crazy. I think he's gonna need professional help turning down all that money. The fought silly bastard. Kalnaki did the same thing. He ran $7 million payday and then got stopped by a journeyman. Sewell A. That Hellenius did. Yeah, Hellenius did give him a fucking walloping. He knocked him the fuck out. But he did more than duck Joshua. That was a big duck. He did duck Joshua, but understand, he ducked the guy that was on the doubt shit list. You guys know what You guys know what the doubt shit list is. The doubt shit list, like Wilder's on the doubt shit list. That means that people think that Wilder won't win another fight. That's not true. We have to see what he's going to do first. You can't just, but he's on the doubt shit list. That's what I call it. Because people will doubt that fighter because, since that fighter's been beaten once, all of a sudden that fighter can't win another fight. Right? So, they have the Cuban cigar. New media dude likes Kurt show. But what it is, yeah, he's on that redemption list too. But that's a little different. That's a little different. But the doubt shit list, that's where Deontay Wilder's newly on. And that's what happens when you get beat. Everybody thinks you ain't worth a shit no more. They think that you can't fight. They think, They're going to think what they're going to think. They put you on that list of doubt. The doubt shit list. Okay? Well, when you're dealing with guys like Brazil was on the doubt shit list. When he got knocked out by Wilder, everybody was like, damn. But understand, the only guy, he has only 2 losses. He's fighting tonight, so watch out for that guy. He's fighting not Hellenius, but Otto Wallin. He's fighting Otto Wallin tonight. He wanted to redeem himself, and everybody was like, you know what? Nah, I'm not fucking with Dominic Brazil. That's what Kalnaki should have fought Dominic Brazil. But no, he was like, no, I'm going to fight this journeyman, Robert Hellenius, a guy that got beat by Jarrell Washington. Jarrell Washington was beaten already by Kalnaki. So Kalnaki ducked Dominic Brazil too. He ducked Dominic Brazil and it was fucked up. And Dominic called him out on that bullshit. He was like, yo, you ducked me to fight Hellenius. And what happened? Karma, baby. Karma. Fucking Hellenius caught his ass at the end with that straight right and knocked his goofy ass out. Fucking goofy bastard. You know what I mean? He got knocked out, but that's what he deserved. He did, because he thought, again, he's running from a hard place and ran into a fucking rock. Lady Sean, you're out. You know? Oh, our undercard has started. Okay, cool. Y'all people done an Eddie Hearn impression. And was asked about Wilder earlier. Yeah, look, that impression though. But see, Eddie is like, he is a
general announcement from the production office is everyone still remember to wear your mask properly and eye protection. These pieces of PPE need to be on you at all times. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Oh shit. But anyway. This properly, guys. This is the official SAG. But anyhow, copy, Mike. So you have
lunch is 1:30. That's the important part.
But anyway, you have Hellenius, a guy that got beat by the guy. And I was talking about Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn has a way of, if you look at him, you got to catch, it's subtle. Joshua can do that shit too, right? Joshua can do the same thing. He says things and it's subtle, and you really won't catch it. You won't catch it because you have to be smart enough to understand what he's doing. A lot of dry ass humor, a lot of sarcasm. And Eddie Hearn, he showed that, like when he said Deontay Wilder's name, and he's like, oh, no, I didn't catch that. And he was like, oh, Wilder now wants to fight Anthony Joshua. The look that Eddie Hearn gave him, he was kind of like, that shit, like, when you're really trying to convince someone you give a fuck, but you really don't give a fuck, that's the look that Eddie Hearn gave that interviewer. That, great, yeah, we'll see. Right? That shit. That's what he did. That's exactly what he did. And it was hilarious because, like, you have to know expressions in people's tone, because a lot of people tell you a lot without saying shit, right? So it was one of those interviews where if you didn't know and you didn't catch that expression, you wouldn't have caught it. But yeah, Eddie Hearn was basically like, fuck that fight. That fight, Deontay, basically this is what he said. Deontay has to prove himself. And Deontay should have took the fucking money at the time when it was offered to him. That's it. And you can tell when, like, Eddie's interested, because Eddie's a talker. He's a talker because he likes to talk to convince you on his viewpoints. So he's not gonna really, if he's interested in something, if he's passionate about something, fucking Eddie's gonna talk your fucking ear off. He'll sit there and talk to you and bullshit with you for what, another 20. He'll elaborate on a question for 10, 15 minutes if it holds value. Like that Wilder shit didn't hold value. He was just like, yeah, well, great. Great fights. I don't see him beating any of these guys and all that shit. He went on and da-da-da-da-da. And it is what it is. Are you watching Josh Kelly fight? No, I'm going to try to catch a little bit of it on the Zone after the podcast, after this live stream. Wilder had Brazil taking a dump in his pants during the press conference. He was literally scared. Yeah, Wilder, he was an intimidating guy. But I mean, you think of Wilder's big, tall motherfucker, big, tall Snoop Dogg like mother. He just, got broader shoulders, and then he can punch. Look what he did to Kalnaki. Wilder can pick guys up. You know, what the hell is this? Mama huevos. Okay, someone is watching you, Kurt. They just snitched you in. Yeah, I think so. I think that's why they made that announcement right there. They spotted me. But I mean, no, it's no fucking body in here. You know what I mean? But anyway, Crawford would have smashed a Prime Floyd. I don't know about that shit. Did you say Crawford would have smashed a Prime Floyd? I don't know. Been a good fight. That's the kind of fight I would want to see. But I don't know about smashed. A Prime Floyd? Nuh-uh. Okay. Give us the Floyd that fought Mosley. Give us the Floyd that fought Mosley versus Terence Crawford right now. Give us that guy. You know, those kind of fights I want to see. It ain't supposed to be action-packed because you got too much skill on the line. You're not going to see a lot of punches landed. So when people expect to see good fights, what do you call good fights? Or good fights that you call, or fights that a lot of people take a lot of fucking punishment? Those are exciting fights, but are they good fights? That means you see a lot of flaws. From a coach standpoint, you're looking at fighters, you're like, okay, he's getting hit too much. It's a good fight for the crowd. Yeah, most motherfuckers are drunk. You know, like, you remember when they had the crowd was drunk. Oh shit, I gotta take a piss. You go run, take a piss, come back. Damn, what happened? I missed it. Fucking fight's over, right? Nowadays, you got the fucking judges, they're drunk. Yeah. Right? But they're influenced by the oohs and ahs, right? So the oohs and ahs is that what has people entertained. So you're not really scoring it. You can be entertained by a fight and not really score it. You're just, you know, intrigued by it. You're intrigued by the punches, the contact, you know, the spirit, you know, the tenacity of the punches, the sweat flying, everything live, right? So you have those particular fights. But you have these other fights, kind of like Lotta and Austin Trout. And everybody was, you know, people started to boo, and I'm like, yo, this is a good fucking fight. You had two southpaws, Austin Trout versus a slick Cuban southpaw. Back when Erislandy Lara was in his prime. I don't think he might fight once or twice, and I think he may retire when someone makes him retire. When they just kind of overcrowd him and just make him retire. A Gaga kind of punch to you, brother. What the typo to finally text Anthony Joshua after all this time? Okay, bro, I'll take the 40% split. You're welcome. I mean, that's basically what he's saying now. But it happens. It really happens. I mean, it really happens. The judges have been atrocious since COVID. Come to be honest. Yeah, Nikki, they have been terrible. You know, I mean, I think they've been drunk on drugs. They don't have to worry about certain people watching them. Did anyone notice that Crawford effectively stopped Brooke with a 6-inch punch like Bruce Lee? Spence saw that shit. He saw that shit, Michael. He saw that shit, and he knew. Look, he knew that guy punches a lot harder than people think he is. And he's, you know, it's sad though. He doesn't have the opportunity to show his full potential. He doesn't. It's sad. Gordon Mullen, Wilder is not a person that would take anything without problems from Eddie Hearn, and Eddie has no time to deal with that idiot. I don't see those guys working together. I just don't see it. I don't see those guys working together. I don't see how that fight could be made, honestly. He went right for the eye socket. He targeted that punch. It was a perfect punch because it fucked him all up. He was like, oh, my eye, huh, huh. And fucking Crawford got to beating the shit out of him, you know, until they stopped it. I mean, it was over that fast. It was a well-timed counterpunch. That shit was perfect. See, Errol Spence just beat he eventually stopped Kelbrook. And he, just chopped him down. I seen that fight yesterday. Very good fight. Very good fight. Errol Spence Errol Spence puts in work. A lot of people say they remind him of Sugar Ray Leonard. I more like think he's more like Hagler. He chops, he works to the body, he breaks you down, he beats you up. You know. Now somebody that don't have a chin at all, he's gonna knock you spark out like he did Chris Algieri. He fucked Algieri off. I think that the fight. Was that the fight that retired Algieri that made him go back to like modeling and shit?
Private lunch in 6 minutes.
You know.
Egg that is.
So your show for the first time with Kurt and the GTS dude. You're funny. Yeah, she went hard. Arlette, she went hard on that guy. I'm fucking tired of you fucking over speaking, everyone. You fucking can't do that shit here. I'm gonna fucking mute you. I'm gonna fucking mute you. Not here. You don't do that shit here. You did that before. You won't do it here. That shit was hilarious. And the guy was like, that's good and everything, that shit's annoying. I used to date a chick that talked like that dude. Like that fucking kind of stuttered over every word. That's fine and everything. I don't want you to think that. I'm like, dude, slow the fuck down. Slow down. Just slow the fuck down. Let your word. I mean, it's maybe a tick. That type of shit. Maybe it's a tick. But I mean, it was like, because like you heard him, he was almost like someone forcing their words to get out. It's bad. Yeah, I don't know if Deontay Wilder was lying or not. I mean, maybe he thinks he was lying. I mean, you have to look at it like that. I mean, I think he really believes that, I think he really believes that he was cheated. And I think, and I'm not here for that. And I'm not here to judge him. So I'm not here for that. I don't know all the evidence. If you guys have the evidence, I mean, I'm like, we have the evidence. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you put a time stamp on it, we don't need a fucking time stamp, Smoke. We was in that shit for 4 fucking hours listening to that shit. I'm like, dude, I've had enough of this shit here. I'd rather go to work. Nah, he sounds like E40 when he's rapping. E40 is actually like, I'm going to do this shit for you. This guy was just fucking stuttering idiot. He just stuttered a lot. Like not even really stuttered. He was jittery. He would dance around a question and change it. So yeah, he would. Yeah, that shit was a no. I'm like, dude, you can't. And then he's one of them guys that can't answer a question while he's speaking. He can't do that. And I guess so. He has problems remembering what he was talking about. So if you do, it's like, well, you guys always cut me off. It's on the, I got, okay, say what you're going to say. Well, I mean, I've said it. Motherfucker, what are you talking about then? You know what I mean? He's one of them dudes you'd punch in the face if he was in front of you trying to talk to you. He would be trying to tell you this fucking, this fucking monologue of bullshit where you're like, okay, I'm not trying to, you can't talk you can't answer questions while you explain something. That would get the job done faster. That's why we're on this shit for 4 hours with this motherfucker. And I'm like, dude, I don't want to talk to that motherfucker again at all. And I'm pretty good at talking to, I like to say anybody, but like talking to people like that, it did give me flashbacks. It gave me flashbacks of people that, you don't like to talk to. My man's stomach hurts and the eyes water. I've been watching the sport for, I've been watching the sport for, the full 4 decades, and and I just think, I just think, that Deontay Wilder, I mean, I just think, I think he was really cheated. I think, the tangible evidence you guys did, you guys just admit he's just a liar. I mean, you just guys, he just, man, shut the fuck, shut up over here, the fuck up out of here, that shit. I don't want to hear that. But Aram needs to get Crawford a real fight. Horn, sea level, con glass jaw, Kell Brook shot. Mean Machine, average. Hey, but he kicked every ass that he possibly could. So what do you want from that guy? You know, those other guys, obviously, they can make all those other fights now. Think about what I'm saying. He can make a fight with Amir Khan, Kell Brook, Mean Machine, Jeff Horn, Jose Benavidez. You can make a fight with 5 different other fighters. But when it comes to the PBC motherfuckers, ain't none of you motherfuckers available? Or are you, all of you guys got a problem? That's my problem. If it was a certain situation where, okay, you can get Keith Thurman, but you can't get Sean Porter. You can get Sean Porter, but you can't get Errol Spence. That would at least be, okay, cool. You know, all right, I get that. But every one of the, Keith Thurman, you got a fucking problem. Errol Spence, you got a fucking problem. Sean Porter, you got a fucking problem. Like, and all of you guys with PBC, and you want me to believe that it's Terence Crawford or Bob Arum with the problem all the time? No, it's you motherfuckers. If you guys can't fight other guys from other promotional companies, it's not the other promotional companies, it's you. You guys have the problem. Obviously, you guys are not allowed to fight these guys or don't want to fight these guys. Again, I think it's bitter. I think it's bittership. I think there is a level of control, you know, that Al Heyman will put upon these guys. I think that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think that, though. Come on. All these fucking guys got a problem. You can't all have a problem with something. You know, no, man, I ain't taking $2 million, man. No, I ain't taking $1 million, man. Please respect me, man. No, give me 10. I'm like, dude, Keith Thurman, you want $10 million? Now here's a question: Did Keith Thurman want $10 million when he fought Manny Pacquiao? Can somebody answer that question to me? Did fucking Keith Thurman get $10 million to fight Manny Pacquiao? So you guys, it's okay. Do you guys? Okay, Charlie Torre, thank you. Sanctus Dios. Nope, hell no. Kurt, you work for a cigarette company in Shreveport? Yeah, I did actually, years ago. Damn, OT Payne. Where you from? Actually, I did. Fucking Waves. I worked for Waves Cigarettes yeah, years ago. I mean, it was a promotional job. Yeah, yeah. It's pretty cool gig too. Pac-Man asking for $40 million to fight Bud. Now there you go. There you go. Adrian, I'm glad you mentioned that because I was just about to talk about Pac-Man too. Pac-Man, former fighter of top rank, right? And back then he wanted $20 million. So when did he want $20 million to fight Terence Crawford? Can anybody tell me that? Thurman got his biggest payday with Pac, but how much was it? PH Big Dog? PGH Big Dog? How much was it? How much did Keith Thurman get for fighting Pacquiao, Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao? How much of the money did he get? 5 million, 6 million? Khan got 7 million versus Bud. Arum is lowballing PBC fighter. See, Khan is a different entity though. You know, and he did get 7 million. Now you can argue that shit, but then, you know, Khan is one of those guys that always he fought Canelo. Then he won every fight after that. You know, he knocked some guys out in a few seconds, shit like that. You know, he has a country as Pakistan. He has the UK, Dubai. You know him as America. Yes, he has a glass ass chin, but he has lightning fast hands. Okay. 5. Okay. Yeah, that pay-per-view was a major flop. Yeah, it was. It was bad. And see, Terence Crawford fought Victor Postal on pay-per-view. That shit was terrible too. That was his first pay-per-view. Back when Victor Postal was undefeated and he was with Freddie Roach. If you guys remember that. You know, and Terence Crawford tapped that ass. Tabula rasa, 10 million pounds is nothing after the promoters ripped off the cut. Yeah, I ain't, no argument there. But I mean, that's what they have. Pure bids are not made fully public, so we don't know. Okay. So Pac-Man and Manny Pacquiao went to purse bid. Manny was with Top Rank when he wanted 20 million. He did, and he didn't get that. So you think he ain't with Top Rank? He gonna get twice as much? So that goes to show you. I want He fought Matisse. How much money did Manny Pacquiao make when he fought Matisse? How much money did he make when he fought Broner? Adrian the Problem Broner. Remember that? I beat that boy. You know I beat that boy. I beat him. They just want to get that fucking money with Floyd. They want to get that money. I beat him. Pac won $10 million. Exactly. He got $10 million to fight Keith Thurman. I remember what he wanted. And he wants $40 million to fight Terence Crawford. So, man, that must a $40 million man to only fight that guy. He didn't want that much to fight Errol Spence, huh? He wouldn't want no $40 million to fight Errol Spence. So what's the deal? I like Crawford. I want him to win and take 40%. Like you said, Fury and Wilder should have taken 40%. Love how Kurt promoted cigarettes. Haha, I am a avid smoker. Yeah, it's kind of shitty though, but I mean, the pay was really good, you know. And matter of fact, I didn't even smoke at the time. I used to smoke, but I didn't even smoke at the time. You know. Well, Victor Postal wasn't C-level when he fought fucking Terence Crawford. He wasn't. See, everybody talks about these fighters now, but you forget those guys were undefeated and they were the shit when Terence Crawford beat them. "60-40 talk is a decoy. They're waiting for Crawford to look old." Yep, JD Vlanka. JD Vlanka, absolutely. J underscore Mac Kid 7. Bless up, brother. Kind of punch to you. Bob Marley made me smoke. What was Postal? What has Postal done? Never a champ. Yeah, he was. He was a champ at 140. He was a fucking pay-per-view event. He stopped Matisse. See, people forget Matisse was the shit out. Okay, you give Manny Pacquiao credit for fucking stopping Matisse, but Matisse quit against fucking Victor Postal. You guys forget that, right? Or you never knew it. One of the two. Okay, Victor Postal was that guy that Danny Garcia didn't want to fucking fight. Adam Cram, no, I don't. I got to drive this freaking thing. Victor Postal is miles better than ever. When Spence had, with the exception of Sean Porter. See, Victor Postal was the shit back then. Never knew about it. Yeah. See, and Danny Garcia was known as a cherry picker because every time he would get competition in his weight class, he moved. You know, Terence Crawford got there, but Victor Postal got there, and he was like, you know what, fuck you guys. I'm not fighting any of you guys. So he went to 140, and he started the same shit. So he had to build himself over there. Well, I mean, Danny Garcia, to be fair, beat Matisse in a very good fight. But, you know, I mean, matter of fact, that was on the undercard of, I think that was on the undercard of Canelo versus Floyd. So that was a really good undercard. Danny Garcia would fight Angel Garcia before fighting Postol. I favor Postol over everyone Spence beat. Well, understand though, Spence is at 147. Postol wasn't a welterweight. He was a junior welterweight. Yeah, Jim. It seems like that. People forget shit. If you watch these fights and you know who won and you know the outcome, you can put shit together. You just have to think. A little thinking, that's all. Run up the like button, CP squad. Yeah, let's hit that like button. Crawford probably has the most underrated resume. He's the top 3 pound for pound for a reason. Ronald Big Don. How is he Terence Crawford's pound for pound on his pound for pound list and he ain't fought nobody? Make that shit make sense. Crawford needs to take the 40% and make the fight. He doesn't want it. You think he doesn't want it? Okay. Because you see, if you think he doesn't want it, I mean, I can't convince you that he does. But, you know, this type of shit happens. It happens. It's happened before. It's beautiful when boxers like Maidana Ruiz, after many years, get life-changing money from just 2 fights. Yep, it is. You know, what they do with it, that's some fun shit. That's what I want to be around for. How you boxers spend up that damn money? You know, Maidana got fat. He was looking like Sammo Hung and shit. Who is Broker? Broner fighting. The TC was a co-main event being groomed after the Floyd next fight, but Danny derailed that train. Yeah, Danny did that shit. Crawford was fine with Khan making more than him. Hey, you know what? That is a good point, though. You know, because how much money did Crawford make? $5 million. You know, but understand that. Well, that's the same. Because what did Crawford make? Because I know that was in 19, and I was pissed off because I couldn't watch that fight because my ass was in Brazil, and you couldn't watch it down there. Are you going to watch the fight tonight, Josh Kelly? Well, I mean, it should be coming on today sometime, so we'll see. Crawford made 7 to 8. Well, I mean, if he made 7 to 8, and Amir Khan made 7, there was no real negotiation. Spence has made it clear that he doesn't want the fight. And he has verbally said that he doesn't because he has horses and chickens to play instead of making the damn fight. He did say that. I don't even know why Terence Crawford here. I don't even know why he here. I mean, what he doing here? He said I never come to mine, but I never come to here, so why he come to mine? That's what fucking Errol Spence said. Dude, Errol Spence don't want that fucking fight. If you guys think that Terence Crawford ducked Errol Spence, y'all tripping. Terence Crawford ain't ducked shit. You know, so but then you see Errol Spence at a DAZN fucking venue with a totally different energy. We can fight Canelo. I fight Canelo next. So you fucking promoting the Canelo fight. That's what you want. So that's what Errol Spence wants. He wants the Canelo fight. Hey, I'm all for it. Go up there and get beat. Go up there and challenge El Cinnamon. Now, Simmons go up there, he'll come back and beat that ass. Shelton Moore, yes, I'm going live tonight. I just don't know what time. Wipe your feet before you come in. Get the likes up. Ahmed, counter punch to you. The cash out check. I don't think Crawford is ducking to make it clear. Absolutely not. But that's good because he's not, and he's found himself in a weight class surrounded by people with the PBC, the worst fucking people you could ever deal with. Spence wanted to be signed. Let me be signed before Crawford jumps in the ring like AJ wanted from Wilder. Oh, okay, Nico the best. I mean, I don't know. I see Spence. Spence is with that, and see also Spence. He hides behind that promotional shit. I don't know why he come to this. I don't know why he come over here. He don't want him over there because Spence is trying to be somewhat of a business. He's trying to be a business cherry picker. Nobody is running from Crawford. Everyone will pay. I mean, they offered the motherfucking Sean Porter $2 million. That fight should happen. That fight should happen. That fight. Look, that fight is the reason why people are saying fuck boxing and they're going somewhere else. That's why a lot of people, like a lot of fighters or possible potential fighters, go play football. What fights have they given us that were good recently? And it's not about, see, fuck the PBC. It's not about me hating on the PBC. It's about the PBC working with other fighters to see the fights that we want to get made. It ain't me hating on the PBC. It's me disliking the way that the PBC works like a cult. If you understood that all these motherfuckers that Bob Arum has tried to make fights with, they all overpriced themselves. Why? Because they have that bullshit mentality that, hey, they're special. There's something fucking special about them that they can't take money that they normally take anyway. So you can't make that shit make sense. Well, Heyman gives them a certain money. Okay, Sean Porter got $2 million. Errol Spence got $2 million for when they fought. When Sean Porter was a champion. He ain't no fucking champion no more. He's a former champion. But don't, just because you're a former champion, that means you're not a champion. So that means you shouldn't be getting paid more money. Okay? Did PBC sue or did Bob Arum and Golden Boy sue PBC? I don't know. I know Golden Boy did. I'm not sure about Bob Arum. They might have tag team because they were hating on Al Heyman. PBC are too difficult to work with. That's it. Some of their fighters like Porter, but they're difficult to work with. I mean, I like the fighters. If I didn't like them, I wouldn't support them. Shit, I bought the fucking Spence Garcia fight. I support PBC. Unlike some people don't even support their ass. They're like, you know what? Fuck the PBC. Fuck Al Heyman. I'm not giving them no more of my money until they come up with the fights that we want to see. You know, and I can't argue with them. You know, that's their money. You know what I mean? If they don't want, like, if the PBC don't want to work with anybody, fuck them. They're like Pride, you know? Pride versus Bellator. Pride versus the UFC. Because remember the UFC, then you had Pride, then they came together. And then you had fights like Rampage Jackson versus Chuck Liddell. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's like that. But we didn't get that until they fucking had to merge. PBC just had a fight with the Zone last week. Well, that's good. You know, and another thing, though, like, let's get a Yordenis Ugas versus Terence Crawford. That'd be a good fight. Top ranking PBC just worked with each other last weekend when Castano and of the PBC took on Tesser. But that's good. And you see, that shows you, though, where the politics comes in. Why is it that you can, like, okay, even Andy Ruiz fought on the Zone. He fought on the Zone twice. But at the end of the day, he was an Al Heyman fighter. But it just shows you, well, why is Wilder fight so hard to make? Ugas asked for it. Crawford rejected it. Was that before or after he got the belt? Was that recently? Yeah, Brian Castano is with the PBC. He's the one that drawed with Lara. Edislandi Lara. So don't say PBC don't work with anyone. Well, I mean, they don't work with anyone concerning their fighters. And see, here's the thing. The PBC, understand this. I want you to understand this. The PBC fighters versus the PBC itself, they happen to work or to fight on the PBC. The mentality they get from Al Heyman's the problem. You see what I'm saying? So certain fighters, especially the top guys, think their shit don't stink, don't want to go over there. They're loyal to a certain network. So now you want to be a network company man like Errol Spence. But then yet you're going to go over to the Zone. So obviously now you think the Zone is it because he's trying to fight Canelo. But then, oh, I can't stand Top Rank. What did Top Rank do to you? Well, no one allows the top fighters to fight on other networks. Fact. Well, I mean, shit. Andy Ruiz was a top fighter when he beat Anthony Joshua, wasn't he? And he still fought, even though they tried to get out of that shit. Oh, they were trying to get out. So yeah, they were trying to get out of that shit, but it wouldn't happen. Okay, Ugas didn't ask for Crawford. Stop lying. Also, PBC only works with other platforms when it's a win-win situation. Well, it's not a lot on the line. You know, that's the whole thing. Andy Ruiz was just a newly signed fighter with the PBC. So he really didn't even have any roots with the PBC. He had just left Bob Arum. You know, he got one fight with Al Heyman, and then he hit the jackpot with Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua. Now, those are facts. Do you think AJ and Spence has similarities? Both started late, both collecting belts. No, not that. No, because you don't see Anthony Joshua doing fuckboy shit. They don't have the same personality. They don't have the same characteristics. None of that shit. Now, what they've done in the sport, he's got 2 belts. Let's see him get a 3rd belt. Then you can compare yourself to someone like Joshua. Crawford ducking Porter. Okay, offered him $2 million. That's ducking. Okay. You know, so obviously, you know, if you guys think that Crawford is ducking fucking Errol Spence, whatever. I don't even think nobody's ducking anybody because that shit's over. The negotiations are over. Nobody's going to put that and bring that shit back. It is what it is. But anyway, guys, it's been fun. I got to run. Everybody be safe. I'll see you guys tonight on live when we do look at Adrian Broner make his comeback. And hopefully I get off in time to see Dominic Breazeale take on Otto Wallin. You guys, it's been fun. Everybody's been counterpunched. And I will see you on the next one. Peace. Well, wait a minute. Did you say Dillian White postponed again? That sucks. But anyway, I'll check it out. Peace.